2019 is almost over, and I'm here to give you my year-end awards for professional wrestling in the year that was 2019. So, how would I rate wrestling this year? It was very eventful, and I thought it was pretty disappointing. The reason I say that was there was a lot of hype going into this year because of two major things that were going to happen. In particular, it was AEW being a company. The All-In event happened last year in 2018, and eventually it led to the birth of the company in All Elite Wrestling. I think when it came about, it was officially going to happen. There was a lot of excitement. It was going to change everything. It hasn't done that. It's been good. I mean, I think it's good to have it. You know, I think we're better off having AEW than not having it. I think having AEW as a company, as opposed to nothing, is certainly a positive, and it's good that we get to see more guys featured. But is it going to change the game? No, not at all. But that was the big story, and the other big story was Fox going to SmackDown going to Fox. But that was known for a while. Have they done a great job on Fox? No. It's gone exactly how I predicted. The first week would be massive. It would be a huge event. They would go all out for the first show, and they would get every single big star they could. And then after a few weeks, it would be like every other SmackDown would be a nothing show, and that's exactly what happened. So no surprise there, to be honest. But I think it's okay. I mean, I prefer watching on Tuesdays and Fridays, but I think overall the show's fine. I think it's a decent show, and I want to let everyone know I will not be watching Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler tonight on that stupid New Year's bash. I will not watch that show anyways, but I'm certainly not watching that match. I do not know who wins. Can someone tell me who wins in the comment section? I have no idea who's going to win, Reigns or Ziggler anyway. Those were the big stories. Also, NXT getting 2 hours. That was a big story, and NXT has been fantastic. It's been the best show of the year. I think that goes without saying. I don't care if I'm spoiling stuff. It's been fantastic this year. But with NXT, I think it's still as NXT. They're still doing it Full Sail. I think I want it to remain that way, but it's fine to see it become a bit bigger than it already is, if you know what I mean. So I don't mind them expanding. I just don't want them to go too mainstream, to WWE roster. I don't want it to be the main roster, but NXT getting 2 hours has also been a big deal. And I think there was a lot of hype going into the fall, and wrestling hasn't. It's better than I'd say not having the stuff, but it's not like the game has changed. I still think wrestling is kind of unpopular, unfortunately. Also at New Japan, they won't be included here because I don't watch them much. I just watch WWE and AEW. So what you see me review is what will be on the show. I did review Wrestle Kingdom last year, and I will review it this year. It's 2 nights this year, actually. I think it's the 4th and the 5th. I'm looking forward to watching it both. Staying up all night, 2 nights in a row. I can't wait. But I will review it. I did not watch New Japan yearly, so I cannot add them here because I just don't follow it. So mostly be professional wrestling in the U.S. I don't watch Impact. I don't watch Ring of Honor. So you get WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and you get AEW. Here we go. Here are the awards. First, Male Wrestler of the Year. Wow, this is a tough award to give out. For the first time ever, I'm going to go with an NXT wrestler winning this award, a non-main roster WWE winning this award. I'm going with Adam Cole. The reason I'm going with Adam Cole is I believe he's had the best year. I think he's had a fantastic year in terms of wrestling quality, and I think he's unbelievably over in NXT. He's the most over guy. Everyone loves saying Adam Cole, baby. He has to win it. His matches have been fantastic. You look at how he started the year off. It's funny because when you go back on NXT TakeOver New York, gets into a match with Johnny Gargano. I don't think he was even going to be on the card. What happened on that show was it was going to be Gargano and Ciampa in 2 out of 3 falls, if I'm not mistaken. But Ciampa gets hurt. He has to surrender the title, and they have to give the match to Gargano. Gargano was going to beat Ciampa. I'm pretty sure that would happen. And eventually they put Adam Cole there, and what happens is it's a match that was not built up. They go out there and they have the best match of the year. It was a fantastic match. It was a classic wrestling match. It was a clinic. Unbelievable. The fans were more into Adam Cole than they were into Johnny Gargano. I don't think it was because they hated Gargano, but I just think they're really into Cole for NXT TakeOver New York. But Cole loses, and he has a rematch with him at NXT TakeOver 25. They have another fantastic match. Cole wins. The third match wasn't the best. That was easily the weakest. That wasn't very good. They had that one in Toronto. It was a 3 stages of how Cole wins. And then he had another great match when he was in War Games. And the match in War Games was crazy. It was the Undisputed Era. It was him, O'Reilly, Fish, and Strong against Ciampa and his team. And the match ended with Cole almost dying after Ciampa gave him the spot of the year, which was his finisher from the top of the cage backwards through 2 tables, which was nuts. So Cole had great matches. He had a fantastic match with Matt Riddle in the first NXT for 2 hours. That match was excellent. Loved that match. There's more I'm forgetting. He just tore it up every match. He does a bit too many Panama Sunrises. That's my only complaint, but he's my male wrestler of the year. I thought he was fantastic this year. I thought his matches were unbelievable. He's the best. He's the guy. I think his matches, no question about it, he has to win it. Female Wrestler of the Year. Ooh, this is a tough one. So, giving out this award was tough. It was so hard to choose between Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley because I think Rhea had the better matches, but I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. Here's why I'm going with Becky. Becky this year did stuff no woman has ever done. She won the Royal Rumble, which she was expected to, but she did win the Royal Rumble. It was a great showing because she lost to Asuka earlier in the show. She tapped out, but she comes back, she wins it. And after Lana was injured, I believe, Becky won it all. Then she has the storyline with Ronda Rousey. It's easily the hottest thing in wrestling. It was back in 2018. It was really the hottest during Survivor Series last year, but it peaked this year. But they got it back a bit. The storyline wasn't the greatest. They did a lot of stuff going into that match. It was a triple threat and added Charlotte. But Becky does that. She wins the Rumble. Then the next big thing is she main events WrestleMania. She's one of 3 women to main event WrestleMania. It's a triple threat match. Ronda, Charlotte, Becky for both titles. Becky goes on to win the Raw and SmackDown Women's title, and she pins Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania. So, wins main event of WrestleMania. 2 massive things. I know, we're supposed to go look more about matches and over, but she's still very over. She sells, I think she's one of the top merch seller, one of the top 3 at least. Sells a whole bunch. She still gets good reactions. Is she as over as she was a year ago? No, but in 2018, she was, by far and away the female wrestler of the year. Here, I gave it to her just because she accomplished so much. So when you do that, she gets both titles and she becomes a double champion in the main event of WrestleMania, both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship at the same time. It was like the first quarter of the year almost sealed it for her because she accomplished so much. She went on with that feud with Lacey Evans. Wasn't the greatest. I thought she did the best. She got the best out of Lacey Evans she could for 3 pay-per-views in a row. Has a good matchup with Natalya at SummerSlam. Then she has another very good feud with Sasha Banks. The match with Sasha, the first one they had, I believe at the September pay-per-view was good, but then she has a fantastic matchup with Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell. I thought Becky and Sasha tore it up. I loved that match. And she would go on. She made event in the Survivor Series, a match with Shayna Baszler and Bayley. That triple threat match wasn't the greatest. I'll say that. It was pretty weak. Baszler was also a nominee here, but I think her matches are boring. She's not getting it. But I think, when you accomplish so much, I gave it to her, but Rhea came really close. But I'm going to female wrestler of the year is going to the man, Becky Lynch, for the 2nd consecutive year. Next, Tag Team of the Year. The Undisputed Era wins this award. They're great. I love the Undisputed Era. I love NXT. NXT is the best show on TV. Undisputed Era is great. Adam Cole's great. Roderick Strong's great. And Tag Team Champions Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are great. Those guys won the award this year. They're having great matches. Every single show, it happens every time now. You just know these guys are going to deliver. They're so awesome in NXT. I just don't think they'd work on the main roster, but in NXT they're fantastic. Undisputed Era wins. Cole O'Reilly, not Cole O'Reilly teams. O'Reilly and Fish are the main team, but also O'Reilly and Strong were a tag team as well. They're the tag team champions right now because I think Fish is out. So Undisputed Era gets Tag Team of the Year for me. Huge chance. Breakout Star of the Year. I'm going with Rhea Ripley here. She's getting this award. She really broke out She's fantastic. I love Rhea Ripley. I think she can be a big star. She started the year off at NXT UK. She was the UK champion, the women's champion. She had to match up with Toni Storm. And I thought Toni Storm, she was going to be the major star, and she still will. Toni Storm's going to be a big star, but Rhea Ripley ended up breaking out. You look at the two, assume that they're going to push Toni Storm to the moon. They will, but Rhea Ripley is the one who broke out this year. She had a great matchup with Toni Storm at that match. Then she leaves, and she kind of goes away for a bit. We don't see too much of her. Comes into NXT, challenges Shayna Baszler, and she tears it up. She gets over like crazy. She faces Baszler at the TakeOver show, and she pins her into War Games, the Women's War Games, which was great. Everyone loved that. And then she faces Baszler again, and she becomes the NXT Women's Champion after she defeats Shayna Baszler to win the belt. Rhea Ripley's a star. She's going to be a big star on the main roster. She's great. I'm a huge fan of hers. I think she has unlimited potential. She wins the Breakout Star of the Year. Match of the Year. So I had three options. All right, actually not really three, two. It was going to be either Cody or Dustin at AEW Double or Nothing, which I loved, or it was going to be Johnny Gargano against Adam Cole NXT TakeOver New York. I went with Cole and Gargano because I thought the match was just better. I loved the Cody Dustin match. It was a bloodbath. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the way they did the match was great. We never see matches like that. That's what made it so good. We don't see matches like that anymore, to be honest. We've seen it in the past, but not like that right now. The stuff they were doing in that match was ridiculous. It was exciting. What I loved in that match was, if you go back and watch it, the fans are pro Adam Cole to start. They're booing Gargano in the match. They love Adam Cole. So I don't think they really hate Gargano. I think they just really like Cole. And they're having a great match, and Cole wins the first fall. It looks like Gargano's done. The fans slowly start to get behind Gargano. The Undisputed Era interferes. They slowly get to behind him. Gargano wins the second fall and makes him tap out. And they are going nuts for Johnny. Like, this is what they want. They want to see Johnny wrestling like a year ago win the belt. He went heel, he went to the dark side, but now he's back as a babyface where he was. This was such a fantastic matchup. It's just insane. Going back to it, it was ridiculous. He gets Cole to tap out 2 falls in a row. Johnny Gargano wins the NXT title. An amazing moment. And then, of course, he celebrates with Candice LeRae, his wife, when he wins the belt. And then he celebrates with Tommaso Ciampa, his rival, but also his best friend in real life. The three embrace. They hold each other's hands up. I just thought that was a fantastic visual, just a fantastic moment, because Ciampa was out. It looked like that could have been it for Ciampa, and that could have been his send-off. I thought that was just sensational. I thought the way it ended was amazing, was emotional. The match they had was fantastic. Johnny winning the belt. What an amazing event. I love that match. That one's match of the year. Cody Dustin was fantastic. That's a close second. I want to make that a runner-up. But I'm going with Gargano and Cole. Match of the year. NXT title. NXT TakeOver New York. Feud of the year. So this is interesting. Okay. When you go to this, you have to look at something that's had the biggest impact. I'm going to go with something that really probably peaked at the year in 2018, but I thought it had such an impact that it carried over to 2019 and ended up being in the main event. That's Becky Lynch against Ronda Rousey. They didn't even have a singles match and still wins Feud of the Year. I thought they had a really big impact on the year. I thought the stuff they were doing at first was great. I thought right after Becky won the Rumble, the night after on Raw, they had a great segment, a great promo to start the build-up for WrestleMania. And I think Charlotte needed to be added. I thought it went downhill when Charlotte was added. The stuff with the car was pretty entertaining, but I thought Becky and Ronda was really good, because I think people thought Ronda's really mad at Becky, because Becky would troll her on Twitter. She'd make fun of her for losses she had in the UFC. She would just rip Ronda, and Ronda started calling wrestling fake, and the fans went nuts. People got really angry. Becky was trolling her, and it seemed like, man, is there heat here? Because she's going after Ronda. I know the way Ronda is, just by her UFC days. She does not like that stuff. I thought that was really entertaining. I thought it was really well done. I thought the feud was really good. I thought the way it ended wasn't the greatest, Becky winning, but I really liked it, the way they set everything up. I thought they peaked at the end. I enjoyed it. I thought that had the biggest impact on the year. I'm going to give it to that. I can't really think of a feud that had as big of an impact. There's nothing really in AEW. AEW hasn't been going on for too enough time to give it anything else. And there was nothing in WWE the rest of the year that really had a great feud. Can anyone else think of anyone? He had some good matches, but he didn't really have a great feud this year. So I thought wrestling didn't have really a great feud. I thought Becky and Ronaldo, because it had such a big impact, they won the award by default. So feud of the year, Becky Lynch. Max's promo of the year, I'm going to go at Cody and Dustin in the YouTube promo. First time YouTube promos ever won this award. Go back and watch it. It was a must-see promo. I loved it. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's fantastic. It's them on the farm. I thought it was a great promo, and of course they had a great matchup. So you can watch it on AEW's YouTube account. Comeback of the year. Comeback of the year. This is easily, you know who's getting this, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Easily wins comeback of the year. He could have won Wrestler of the Year, just his matches suck, so he can't win that. But comeback of the year, I mean, he has to get this award. Are you kidding me? The Firefly Funhouse is great. Selling a whole bunch of merchandise right now. The Fiend was insane. That SummerSlam entrance against Finn Balor. That was such an epic entrance. I love the Fiend entrance with the Bray Wyatt, the old Bray Wyatt's mounted head as the new lamp with the mask. I just think it's insane. I love the theme music. You might hear that more later. I think the Fiend has had a fantastic comeback. Bray Wyatt is your comeback wrestler of the year. I think that's easily, he gets that. Storyline of the year. Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35. Kofi Mania. So this storyline had a lot of racial undertones to it. It seemed like WWE was going to go on the storyline in which a lot of people on Twitter say WWE is racist. So that seemed like one of the, they were kind of playing against that. Vince holding Kofi down. Kofi is not good enough. Eventually, Kofi, he keeps getting screwed. He keeps getting put in gauntlet matches. And then he finally gets his opportunity. He gets his chance against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35. And wow, what a match they had. They had a fantastic wrestling match. It was a thrilling matchup. It was great. It was exciting. You knew Kofi was going to win, but like, are they going to put on Daniel Bryan? Can Daniel Bryan retain? Eventually, Kofi Kingston wins, and he wins the title. Fantastic storyline. My favorite storyline of the year. The match itself was great. The reign itself was bad. It was not a good title reign. It sucked. To say it bluntly, it was not a good title reign at all. But the storyline of the year, the build up to the belt, that's the chase. The money is in the chase. That's the storyline of the year. I loved it. Headline of the year, All Elite Wrestling forms. That's easily AEW, a whole new wrestling company into really makes its life. Gets a big TNT contract. That has to win the headline of the year. A big new company arriving. Not really much else to say. I thought that whether or not you like what they've done, they haven't set the world on fire. It's not going to be that. I don't think we can expect that, but I think they, having a new major wrestling company was certainly the headline of the year. Pay-per-view of the year. This is going to go to NXT TakeOver New York. This just ran away with the award this year. This was a fantastic wrestling show. One of the best wrestling shows of all time. Really was. Here's the card you had. You had the War Raiders defend their NXT Tag Team titles against Aleister Black and Ricochet to open the show. That was a great match. Velveteen Dream against Matt Riddle for the North American title. Great matchup. Pete Dunne defending the UK title against Walter, and Walter wins the belt. Great matchup there. Fatal 4 Women's title match. Baszler against Io Shirai against Bianca Belair against Kairi Sane. Decent matchup. That was good. Main event was the match of the year, Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT title. This was a fantastic show. I don't think, despite that, I wouldn't say it was better than the show last year or something, which was the New Orleans show, but I thought this was still the best pay-per-view of the year. And I put the whole pay-per-view of the year because Triple H says NXT's, it's its own product now. It's not developmental. It'll have its own category. Everyone gets their own category. NXT's part of the category. It wins pay-per-view of the year, NXT TakeOver New York. TV show of the year, not even a debate, NXT by far. Easily the TV show of the year. NXT UK is pretty good. I love Toni Storm. I love watching her, but NXT, the US brand, great 2-hour show. The matches have been great. It's really good. It's such a fun show to watch. I love NXT. It's just everything you get is great. I mean, I can't complain about anything on NXT. It's really entertaining. The matches are great. You get a long show, a 2-hour show. You get look forward to 2 hours every week, and it ran away with it. Dynamite, Not even close. Dynamite's had some good shows, but hasn't been on the show. It's only been there 3 months anyway, so can't win. NXT's been there a year, even though they only went to 2 hours the last few months. Raw has been horrible, as always, and SmackDown's been okay. I mean, they had the big show to start with the Fox show, but it's just been okay ever since. Theme song of the year goes to The Fiend, Bray Wyatt's Let Me In. It's the theme song is by Code Orange. That one's it. His old theme song was good too, but this one's the new one. Loved it. I loved hearing it the first time at SummerSlam. I thought it was awesome. Fiend's Let Me In, my favorite theme song of the year. Catchphrase of the year, Adam Cole, baby. Come on, what else is going to win? Adam Cole, baby. Most overrated wrestler of the year goes to Seth Rollins. I don't think there's any debate about this. Very overrated this year. Matches sucked. Post WrestleMania, I was not into him. The fans turned on him. I was not a huge fan of his character anymore. Thought he was boring as hell. I hate his voice. I thought he was a horrible babyface champion. He was very overrated. He shouldn't have beaten Brock Lesnar twice. That's what makes you very overrated. He shouldn't have beaten Braun Strowman after that. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't see him as a top guy. I'm glad they turned him heel. So he's my most overrated wrestler of the year. He was wrestler of the year last year. Now he goes to most overrated. Most underrated, this goes to Matt Riddle. I think Matt Riddle, he'll get a big push, but I think he's underutilized. I think they could do a bit more at Matt Riddle. I think he could be pushed a bit harder. I think there's more potential for Matt Riddle. I just don't see why. It seems like they're just pushing him at a rate where you would expect him to get it a little bit higher than he really is. But he's my most underrated. I think they could do more with this guy. Worst awards now. Worst male wrestler of the year, King Corbin. Who else is going to win? He wins it. He won it last year. He can win it every year. Every single year he's on TV. He's just going to get this award by default. It's impossible not to get this award, so this is now going to be called the Corbin Award, worst male wrestler of the year. The worst female wrestler of the year goes to 2 women. They each get this. It's the IIconics, Peyton, Royce, and Billie Kay. They were horrendous. They were awful. They were an awful tag team champion. They should have won the belt at WrestleMania. It was a horrible match, and they didn't need to win it. They had to have a horrible reign. Carmella won it last year for her shitty reign. This reign was almost as bad. At least it wasn't a singles belt, and it still was bad. They lost every fucking match on TV. They were horrible as champion. They sucked. Peyton Royce is unbelievably attractive. She's smoking hot. She's one of the sexiest women they've ever had, but she's a horrible wrestler. Billie Kay is worse. Again, she's good looking too, but Billie Kay is way worse in the ring than Peyton Royce. They're a horrible tag team. They have to win first female wrestler of the year. It doesn't matter how hot they are. They're horrible in the ring. Worst tag team of the year. I am so excited to give this award to the Dark Order. Those guys suck. I hate the Dark Order. They fucking suck. Those guys are shit. They had shitty promos. They can get more awards. I wish I could give this award 100 times to the Dark Order. They're fucking horrible. Easily worst tag team of the year. They fucking suck. Stupid fucking gimmick. I hate it. It's fucking shit. It's fucking garbage. Fucking bums. Fucking sucks. Shitty tag team. Shittiest tag team ever. Fucking horrible segments. I hate it. I can't watch it. The ratings killer, the dark rating killer. Worst feud of the year, is there any doubt? Rusev against Bobby Lashley and Lana. I'll have more to talk about that later. It's going to win this another award later, but worst feud of the year. We all saw what happened last night on Raw. It was horrendous. That's just awful. Worst match of the year. This is easy. Seth Rollins against the Fiend at Hell in a Cell for this past year inside of Hell in a Cell. This was a close one between Undertaker and Goldberg at Super Showdown, but the one thing about Undertaker and Goldberg was, as bad as that match was, Goldberg was hurt, so you can give him a pass. It wasn't as long. This match was very long. This was a horrible match. It was red lighting with the red Hell in a Cell cage. It was unbearable to watch. It sucked. It was shit. Seth hit like a million curb stomps to Bray, and Bray wouldn't move, and he kept killing his head. He smashed his head with a whole bunch of stuff. Eventually, Seth Rollins gets DQ. All I can think of 20 years ago, what we saw what happened to Mankind in Hell in a Cell. Now you have a fucking DQ in a Hell in a Cell. If you ever have a Hell in a Cell DQ again, you automatically should win worst match of the year just for having a DQ finish inside a Hell in a Cell. Are you fucking kidding me? That was a joke. Embarrassing too, to be honest. Worst pay-per-view of the year, WWE Stomping Grounds 2019. I do not even remember this show. I don't even know what happened here. Does anyone even remember this show? I don't remember this show. I don't even know anything. I completely forgot about it. Yeah, I have nothing to say about it. I forgot it existed. I knew the match sucked. The show sucked because I gave it a bad review. Yeah, this is easily worst pay-per-view of the year. I don't remember a damn thing as much as you do. Okay, worst storyline of the year. Bobby Lashley and Ronda. I have a lot to say about this. So I saw what happened last night with the horrible wedding on Raw. I watched it. You can watch my review of Raw last night. It was horrendous. It was embarrassing. It was shitty. All I can think of is they missed a great opportunity to do the same storyline on SmackDown with Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Otis. You could have had Mandy Rose and Otis, and in this instance, Lana, who's the wedding. Mandy Rose would be in the Lana role. Otis is obviously in the Bobby Lashley role. And then in the Liv Morgan role, instead of Liv Morgan and Lana having a lesbian storyline, you could do the more realistic approach, which is Sonya Deville in that role. So, Otis and Mandy are about to get married. Does anyone have any objections? Sonya Deville comes in and she professes her love to Mandy Rose and she kisses her. That was a storyline they should have done. I thought that would have been perfect. Instead, this whole Lashley and Lana stuff, what we saw last night, was the worst segment of the year. Oh my God, probably one of the worst segments of the decade. And maybe, Alexa Bliss has to win that award. Love you, Alexa, but the This Is Your Life was horrendous, or maybe there's other stuff I forget. Maybe the Old Day, stuff like that. But that was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. That sucked. It sucked. That was horrendous. I can't go on. We're going to be on here all day. That was so bad. It sucked. Shit. Bobby Lashley and Lana's love wins the worst song of the year. Worst announcer. I'm going to give this to Excalibur. I hate him. I hate his gimmick. I hate that he wears a fucking mask when he talks. It's so fucking annoying. It just makes the company look second rate. No one wears a fucking mask to do announcing. Who does that? No one does that. You wear a fucking mask. I hate it so much. I hate that stupid gimmick. It's not as you tune in from on commentary either. He messes up a lot. Jim Ross is so uninterested. It's sad. He could have got this award too, but I have too much respect. I'm just not a fan of Excalibur. So those are my awards. You have them all in the description. You can look them all up. Next, I want to talk about what I think wrestling will happen. What's going to happen in 2020. I'm not sure what's going to happen in 2020. I think you can see a lot of stuff happen in wrestling. I think you can see some stuff happen in the AEW, which I'm not looking forward to. I think you can see a situation where AEW looks like it might be on their last legs. I think when it comes to WWE, you can see a situation where they do what they always do. WrestleMania season, they'll amp it up. After WrestleMania, they'll just phone it in. I think you can see that too happen. So I'm not sure where they're going to go. I think overall in 2019, you had I don't know what I'd call it. I think it was a disappointing year. I think there was so much expectation when the AEW first announced that people thought WWE was going to start to go all out. AEW is going to go all out. You're going to have a great year of wrestling. It's going to be super exciting. It wasn't that. It was better than what you'd have previously. I think we're in a better place because we have AEW. I think it's more interesting. You do have people arguing. The stuff on Twitter is a bit toxic. I don't even have Twitter anymore. I barely even go on it, but I've heard some of the stuff that's going on between AEW and WWE fans. I think it's a bit toxic, but I think having AEW that certainly does bring a lot to wrestling. I think it does. It's entertaining having two major companies rivals again. So that there is good stuff. So 2019's over. That was the year of wrestling. We'll see what happens next year in 2020. You know what? Who knows? Who can happen? Here's to a good year. Hopefully we get a great year of wrestling, and hopefully we continue to enjoy the show. I hope things get good. I hope this is the end of the decade. I forgot to mention as well. The decade's over. 2010s is a decade. I'm not sure how I'd rate that. I think they were okay. I think in ways they might have been better than the 2000s. But, I mean, there was some good stuff. A lot of stuff that's really boring. So, new year, new decade, new rules. Hopefully we get wrestling is great in the 2020s, and we can all hope that we continue to see good progress in wrestling, and we continue to get good wrestling from all around the world, all around the United States, and hopefully it's something we can all continue to enjoy. So here's to 2020, the year, and the 2020s decade.